back to our channel. This is Emily.
And Tommy.
And today we have a special guest with us. We have the Flower Guy Bron.
Hi. We love Flower Guy Bron.
Thank you. I love you too.
He's been in our facility, the Renaissance, so many times, and every time he comes in, we are provided with so much Instagram fodder. It's not even funny. Really beautiful stuff. So let's stop and take a second and look at a few of the wonderful arrangements that he's put together in our ballroom. So going to look at that right now. Hi, everybody. I hope you like those pictures. We're going to ask Bron a couple of questions today just to kind of get to know him a little bit more so our viewers get to know him just as well as we do, hopefully. So, Emily, why don't you ask the first question?
Okay, so as I don't know if you know, but I know I met you when I was taking Megan Ely's class when I was at VCU.
Yes.
And so I just kind of got into the event industry, the wedding industry about almost 2 years ago. So I would consider myself as a, new person in this industry. So that being said, what advice would you give to a new wedding professional?
That's a good one.
Well, that is a great question. I'm really glad you asked. So, when I started my business, there was no mentors, there were no robust programs to support people starting a business. So you really just started and you kind of fell on your face and you just had to kind of reinvent the wheel and create your own processes. So what I would say to someone starting is to avoid the comparison game. So what I mean by that is, as you're developing and learning your craft and you're sharpening your saw, I want you to keep your head down and I want you to stay focused on your talent, on your unique space, because that is what's going to keep you sustainable and will make sure that your product is going to be meaningful for all of those who are seeking your services. So please avoid comparing yourself to your peers, comparing yourselves to different markets, comparing yourself on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. Focus on your work, and that will lead you to the right place every single time. So my advice to anyone starting, focus on you.
Love to hear it. Thank you so much. I will definitely remember that.
Please.
And we can tell that you pay a lot of attention to what you do too, just because of the feedback that, and we're just one venue, just the feedback that we get as one venue from however many people contact us or ask us messages online through social media. Who did that floral display and where did you get those candelabras? I mean, when you think about stuff like that, where do you find all the inspiration to put those things together, like your signature pieces that just are so big and beautiful?
Well, that's a great question, Tommy. And, to answer it honestly, I have to kind of look into my own personal life because a lot of what has become my signature look is my personal taste. And so my taste level has developed over the years. However, I stopped seeking inspiration from within my industry. And I started looking outside and I said, you know what? Fashion is a great place to find inspiration, in terms of how to blend colors and how to meld different designs. And then I also look at architecture. I really, really love architectural digest magazines and Better Homes and Garden. And I look at these different home magazines and I try to study different trends that I'm seeing happening in other industries. So I think it's really important as we're developing our style and we're seeking inspiration to look outside of our local markets, look outside of our normal sources of inspiration and go a little bit more abstract. And I think that you'll be very surprised with what you'll find. And so for me, I tend to pride myself on being a very traditional and classic style of florist. I'm not avant-garde. I think I can interpret the client's needs, but my go-to is going to be something that you'll be able to look back at years and years and years from now and say, I made good choices. And although we might make a nod towards trends and fads, we always want to make sure that the overarching objective is to make sure that our designs are classic. And so I think, going back to where I'm finding inspiration, I'm looking outside of florists, I'm looking outside of Richmond and trying to find unique opportunities to find inspiration.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. Super creative.
And what a wonderful explanation too, especially in regards to architecture and fashion. Um,
Yeah.
you know what? I never really thought about it before, but
Yeah.
they're closely compared or
It
correlated.
it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Well, way to be open-minded. That's so cool.
Thanks.
So another question we have. So obviously, I've kind of noticed how close you and Tommy are, and how well you guys work
Yeah.
together. Because just
Well,
any of the pictures I've seen, of your flowers in our ballroom, it always just looks amazing. And I'm like, Bron
Thank
definitely
you.
did that.
Thank
Of
you.
course. So how important have your relationships been with fellow event pros?
Well, I could not stress to you the importance of collaborative relationships. I know that there are a lot of buzzwords in our industry. Community over competition is probably one of the more popular ones. However, for me, my partnerships with vendors are invaluable. In particularly, I have a small collaborative workspace on the second floor of my business called The Village. And The Village is specifically geared towards event professionals that want to collaborate and have the opportunity to be in a professional environment with other creative energies. And so for me, I have created some of the strongest and most time tested and trusted relationships with vendors simply because I took the time to get past the transaction of us working together and learning who they are as people. And I think that that particular give on my end is what has created relationships that I can say, okay, look, I can send any client to this vendor and trust that the client is going to be guided through a customer experience that mirrors mine. And I can say, you know what, I think that this personality is a great match for this particular client because I've worked with this person, and I can line people up and make sure that the relationships are a good whole relationship. And so for me, vendor collaborations and vendor partnerships are probably some of my most valued resources in my business, and in relationships that started off as, in passing. But instead of just stopping there, you ask a question and you ask for coffee. And then you have the conversation and you learn about each other. And then it makes it so much easier to serve your clients together. And instead of it being, oh, I'm doing my part in the wedding, we're all working together to serve the client. And when we can all come together and work collaboratively, we will totally dispel the myth of, that he has an ego, she has an ego, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. Drop it, folks, and let's come together and work as one, because our clients are the ones who benefits from that collaboration.
There you go.
Working with so many wedding professionals like we both have, you're hitting on something that is so easy to tell right in the beginning of meeting somebody. I love it when I meet like-minded wedding professionals that promote 100% of their time to the client's want and need and requests. And there's nothing that makes us happy. And I've seen it on Emily's face, and I'm sure she's seen it on mine, and I know I've seen it on yours.
Yeah.
That client, and we call them friends because we get to know these people.
Absolutely. Very intimately. We get to know them
very
like
closely.
family members, for real, right?
They're added to your Christmas card list.
Right.
Well,
absolutely.
The wedding industry has taken a hit recently with the pandemic that's going on. And I'm sure it's hard for a lot of wedding professionals to stay motivated. And, this is really fun because I backtrack and, I research and get to know people, and I like to see what they're all doing. And you were recently a part of a group that I think did a Zoom Live, or it was a recorded Zoom Live. And you were with some of the biggest names in the wedding profession. I mean, these people speak all over the country. You're talking like Alan Berg and Megan Ely and Catherine Ham. I mean, these people are well-known people. When you think about what you did there and how you're reacting with it in your business, how do you stay motivated with the pandemic going on right now? What do you do to stay so motivated?
Yeah, Tommy, I have to be totally transparent in acknowledging the reality that this is such unprecedented and uncharted waters for our industry, that, what might have made sense months ago will never make sense again for a lot of us. And so I have to be transparent in saying when this all started, I wasn't so optimistic. I mean, I have pretty good bookkeeping, but no amount of savings that I could have accrued in the amount of time that I've been in business, even as a young adult, could have sustained me for this amount of time. So putting that out there, that I am not selling, wooden nickels. I'm not telling someone that, oh, I have not been, at the bank like, I wonder what's going to come out of the ATM machine. Like, I've had those moments, and I think many of us who really care about the industry and making sure people know that even us as leaders are often challenged just like they are. So I put that out there first. But for me, instead of pivoting towards how can I figure out how to make my business better throughout COVID, I took my time and pivoted back to myself, the person, the human, the person who bleeds behind the business, not the system that you can plug into a software and you can put in a code and it can generate it for you. No soft skills. I focused on the person behind the Flower Guy Bron, which is so much more important. Who is so much more important than the glamour and the ballroom and the stage and the lights, camera, action? That person is only good when Bron is okay. And so for the last however many months it's been, I have been focusing on my mindfulness, and I've been focusing on my emotions, and I've been focusing on my spirit, and I've been focusing on my body. So I have gone through a transformation throughout this COVID time, and making sure that I am the focus and the priority. And because of that, I believe that the Flower Guy Bron has been able to sustain because I can hold him up. And so that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'd like to encourage everyone else who might be feeling as though, the end is near. I know that we drive through neighborhoods or through, retail areas, and we see a lot of for lease, a lot of for sale. And I know some of us might be feeling like you might be in that next round, but I want you to know, even if it does end up happening, it's not the end of the world, because even though the facade of the business may fade, the person is still going to be alive and well. So that's why it's important for you to take care of yourself. Don't get caught into the comparison game, going back to, previous questions and answers. It will get you much further throughout this season of uncertainty, and you will be in a much better place to serve your customers, your clients, your family. But it all starts with you.
God, you know what, Bron? I want to be part of your village.
Come on.
Right?
You can join. You're already on it on Facebook.
Rock on. I'm going to go a bit personal for a second. When you and I first met, it was through a client, and you were providing florals. And I remember when I met you, I was like, this guy is something special. I've been doing this forever. And I remember there are certain people that take that little part of your brain, and they have this forever little spot in there that's not going to go away as you age. There's memories that you're going to keep.
Yeah.
And then I remember one of the first big speaking gigs that I ever did over in Las Vegas.
Yes.
I remember seeing you in the
We were there together.
Speaking.
We were there together.
I can't thank you enough for that. It was so awesome to see you there. And I promise that one day when the world gets back to a semblance of normalcy, that next big speaking gig that you speak, because you're all over the place blowing up like crazy, I'm going to be right there to support.
Oh, Tommy, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But it's I think what you and I have experienced together as vendors is what all vendors need to experience, is just the wholeness of the person, and not, what price points do you work at, and what venues do you frequent, and what planner is it, and what florist is it? Drop it all and just serve the people. And through serving people, we have been able to connect and see how we can now serve each other in a friendship. And it's meaningful, and I don't take it for granted. And I just hope other people use us as a marker and as a model in how to move forward as vendors in this industry. So thank you for your friendship, Tommy.
Oh gosh, no, it's my pleasure. And thank you as well. And as a closer, I'd say, just to nail it home, we say always go here, not so much here.
That's right. That's right.
So in closing, again, Bron, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. We're going to take another quick second just to show everybody that's watching a few pictures of some of the beautiful work that you've done. So you're going to see that right now.
Okay.
All right, we hope you guys enjoyed those pictures, and we hope that you enjoyed Bron's amazing answers and his amazing presence. And this is one of my favorite videos I think we've ever done so far.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks so much for joining us. And remember, if you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe.
Good job, you did it. And leave a comment below if you want to. And we'll see you guys in our next video. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bron. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.